you took that internship per se, didn't think about how is it going to benefit you and make $1 million right there, and then all you want to do is learn, get better, like you said, get back to the season. So this became one of the best learning experiences.
100%, 100%. And knowledge is way more valuable. Sorry about that. Way more valuable than a paycheck.
So, and it is. And I always say potential power, and we all know you have to apply everything you learn. And it comes down to now you're 18, you finished the 4 years, and you're getting into the real world.
Yep.
And we're going to speed up a little bit now. I want to know, what was your next move into the real world?
So after I graduated, I'm going to kind of, being an entrepreneur actually started for me in college.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to be a business owner, and it's because of kind of what transpired when I was in college. So I always wake up early. I'm up every single day. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's just what I do. I wake up early. So I always had 8 a.m. classes in college. But I also wanted to make some money. So I was looking for a job, and I got a job at a local high school as a janitor to clean their locker rooms at 7 a.m. It was 7:45, then I'd go right to my class, and I would just make some money. So I always had some cash, unlike my other college buddies who had no money, and we would throw these parties at our house. So I lived in a house with like 5 other football players. It was a nice big house in like an unincorporated land in Illinois, like 2 acres of land, tree house, 100-foot-long slip and slide. It was like a college party house, right? So we'd want to throw these parties, but we didn't know like who's got money, who can buy a keg. So I was the only one who had money. So I was like, you know what, I'll go buy 2 kegs, right? So I bought 2 kegs, and I created this entire operation, this business operation. I had guys that always worked the door that would collect the money. Those guys would then be able to drink from the keg for free. I had a DJ that I paid out of my earnings and so on and so forth. It got to the point to where I was making so much money at the front door. We'd have 300 people at these parties every single night, and it was a Friday, Saturday night. Oh. And I'd come away with like $400 a night. And $800 a weekend for a college kid's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I started making all this money and turning it more into more of a business operation. So I had an idea that, I was a big Captain Morgan drinker back in the day. That was my thing. I had an idea that, okay, if somebody brings a handle of Captain Morgan, they would be exempt from paying for the entire semester. They would have to pay the $5 at the door. So I thought, it was cool because now I'm going to drink for free because I'm not going to buy these Captain Morgans. I ended up getting like 30 handles. All these handles are just sitting in my room. So what am I going to do with this? So I went to the hobby store and I bought a snow cone maker, and then hired somebody to make rum and Coke slushies inside the house. So now I'm making money there. And it was just, I always saw myself kind of being, a leader and having a business mind and trying to figure out ways to make more money and make an experience better and make something, more enjoyable. So, doing that for 2-3 years in college, I'm like, man, I feel like this is my passion. So I took an entrepreneur class as a senior, and I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite classes that I took. And within this class, we had to design a business. And I basically designed a training company, and again, that was just where I got my first taste of being an entrepreneur. But when I graduated, obviously I was 21, 22 years old. I'm not just going to jump in and create a gym. I'm not just going to open up this place. If you're going to do that, you need to start to build a clientele. I can't open up a gym and have no members. You know what I mean? I had to build a brand for myself, build a name for myself. But I got offered an opportunity to be the head strength coach at St. Thomas University in Miami Gardens. So I took it, and I was there. I was training their teams, but they would also give me an opportunity to train clients outside of the college there. And I was also working for a company at that time, too, at Athlete's Edge. So I had a lot going on. I was doing a lot of things, trying to make as much money as possible. So that was it, man. I got right out of college, and I jumped right into the training scene. But again, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I want to open up a gym. I want to have my own place.
It's funny you say that, and it was so inspiring what you said, because I found a way to become an entrepreneur before the real world per se myself. And first of all, you're doing a bunch of upsell. You had so many, my sister brought this up yesterday, but I say the word nuggets, it means like jewels.
Yep,
but you
100%.
said so many things that you were doing there that you're almost bobbing and weaving, but creating your reality. And your attitude, once again, was probably very believing in yourself. So you got to the real world, you started kind of putting your hands on a little bit of everything, keeping your eyes open, you started getting better and stronger and understanding what you were teaching. So another thing I want to point out is that you said that you wanted to open a gym, and you were supposed to be, so-called like everyone else, a professional athlete. You had more of a foundation to know which direction you can go. But a lot of other people who don't become professional athletes, there's many ways to monetize or find your passions within that type of space.
100%.
And then for you, you said that you wanted to kind of get some foundation laid before you took that big next step.
Yeah.
So what year did you make that big leap into becoming a business owner?
So 2 years, a little more over 2 years, I worked at the college as a strength coach and built up a good, clientele, a pretty good name for myself. When I was not at the college, I would go to Betty T. Ferguson, which was a little park in Miami Gardens, and I would train kids for free just to kind of expose myself to, expose these kids to what I offer. You know what I mean? And that turned into 3 kids to 5 kids to 10 kids. And all of a sudden, I'm training 10 kids 3 days a week at Betty T. Ferguson. And it was in the hood. It's like in the heart of Miami Gardens. I'm the only white guy there. And these kids are like, man, this is great training. Coach, what can we do for you? I know we don't have any money, but what can we do? And I said, bring some friends and let them know it's $10 a session, And then next thing you know, next session, there's 5 new kids who all brought $10, and I had $50 now. I'd put $50 in my pocket from this session. And then that grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And guess what? Now I'm at this field. I've got 30, 40 kids every single day.
Oh, wow.
It's like an operation. Everyone's talking about it, and it just spread like wildfire. So when that happens, then big names start to come, and then, pros start to come, and it's just like, hey, what's going on over here? Like, let's...
You got that buzz going around.
Exactly. And then after that, I was actually, meanwhile, while all that was going on, I was training one of my former high school friends. And he had seen what I had built at this little college and was like, dude, you got to open up your own gym. And I was like, trust me, I know. Like, I want to. He's like, what's holding you back? And I was like, well, the funds. I don't have that money. He's like, well, what if I got the money? Let's go into business together. And I was like, all right, cool. So literally, boom. A month later, him and I signed a contract, and we opened up Elevate. His name's Mike Rafferty. So, him and I opened up Elevate, and it was great. We opened up Elevate, and before we even had one first fitness class, we already had 40 members sign up. So that's what I said. Like, we had the members. That's why we did it the right way. We built this infrastructure, this rooted groundwork, and then started to build above the ground. And then Elevate was the first thing that was my baby.
And it was something that I've been a part of and really enjoyed my experience. Actually, it helped me push myself when I was really trying to get to the next level. And at the same time, just like any gym does, your mentality was something I gravitated to. And I was like, I want to be around that guy. You put something out into the atmosphere. You guys were heavy on IG at that time, but you put something out there and said, I want to see what these people are doing. And that's how I felt, to tell you the truth. And let's talk a little bit about that experience, like in the business ownership side. We'll go back into skill sets and what you learned with players and all the professional athletes you're working with now. But what was the experience building a company when you first started? You guys, you wanted to get an empty space. Talk us through the mentality.
So, the first gym that I opened, Elevate, I was not business mindset because I thought, all right, I have a business partner. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the business guy. I'm just going to train and be the face, and that's what I'm going to worry about. So Mike found the space. The space was actually owned by one of his family friends. I put together a list of equipment. Mike found it. Mike bought it. Like, he did all the business stuff to get the business going. And again, I was training and, promoting and, basically staffing and getting people to train, getting trainers to come, so on and so forth. When we actually opened the doors, man, it was great. We were busy right away. And I got so caught up into the training that I really didn't pay attention much to the business stuff, which in, hindsight, I really should have. But again, everything happens for a reason, and I think that, Elevate was a great learning experience for me to catapult me into my next venture, right? So, I really wasn't so, behind the scenes with the business stuff. I was more so just training. Mm-hmm. And then I'd say 2 years down the road, Mike and I decided that we had different ideas and philosophies that we want to do with the gym. He wanted to make it more of a fitness-oriented thing, kind of like an Orange Theory, like let's make them smaller and more efficient and just pop them up everywhere. And me, I wasn't really about that. I was more of a culture feel, like, you know, like a family type feel. And I also love the sports performance aspect. That's more of my passion than fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of wanted to just not really do that much, just make it more fitness. So we decided that, you know what, we both don't agree on this. Let's just go our separate ways. So I broke off from Elevate. When I broke off from Elevate, I was by myself. And I'm like, all right, shit, what do I got to do? I got to, you know, buy a website domain? Is that the first thing? Or is it an LLC? Do I have to go on Sunbiz? I think it's called Sunbiz. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, you know? But I had some guidance. I had you know, an attorney that I'd worked with, and then I also had a trainer that was with me at Elevate who was coming on as my business partner too, who had a lot of knowledge about it. So, but this time around, I was like, you know what? I got to be hands-on with the business aspect, because at the end of the day, you know, this is my livelihood, right? I need to know all the working parts and all the little pieces that go into it. So I mean, Elevate was a great experience for me to learn about being a business owner, but not how to be a business owner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because you're right. You know, what I always tell people, and Jack Deloso last episode was, they were talking about like the pillars, right? You got your marketing, your sales, your operations, your finance, your legal and whatnot. But then you have the most important is the product.
Yep.
Right? The product or
Agreed.
the service. And you said, it sounded like you were focusing on the product, the service, and then you were filling in some gaps. Like you said, you were being the face of marketing, and you were also recruiting, so it sounded like you were in sales. But at the same time, you have to understand how this business is moving beyond just the amazing products. And that keeps, you know, that helps with scalability, and that helps with actually being able to carry out your vision without getting bottlenecked or stressed out with all the different hats you're wearing. So I completely understand with that. And I think vision is key. And I want to ask you, as a business owner, I mean, all these different things, what do you think, what's the most important thing to you? You said just the culture and the product? Yeah,
culture. I think, especially in my business, you know, in the gym business, sports performance business, really, it's very hard to find people that care, and my staff really cares. And about everybody. It's not just about, you know, a certain person or an aspect of the gym. It's just, we just care about everything. I mean, my trainers go to their clients' practices, not games, not tournaments. They go to their practices. You know, they go to their birthdays. They go to their graduations. They take it outside of the gym. You know, like when we say family, we really mean family. And that's something that, you know, you really can't teach somebody. They've got to have it. But once somebody has it and they see it somewhere, they gravitate towards it. You know, I have 7 trainers on staff, or 5 trainers on staff, and then me and my partner, Zach. Everybody that is on staff has either interned for me or was a former client. So they know the ropes. They know what we do. You know, it's not like a random, some really, really good trainer from New York wants to come down and be a part of the squad. We probably wouldn't hire you just because you don't have the intangibles. You know, you don't understand, you know, how we operate, you know, at a love level, really, you know what I mean?
The highest frequency. Yeah.
Exactly, you know, not just okay, I'm a really good trainer and I can train anybody, but do you really care about everybody? You know, do you care about your clients? So
that's so powerful, and once again, thanks for saying stuff like that, because it really shows that, like, when you take it to the next level, let's put all the money aside because you know you can't take it with you. The whole quote, the U-Hauls, not going to follow the hearse. Is when it comes down to you're serving people, you really genuinely care, everything follows.
100%.
Everything comes to you.
It's easy.
It becomes a flow state.